Monday. It is Maker Monday. How are we doing? Did you guys have a good weekend? I had a very relaxing weekend, and I am rested and ready to get on with the week. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I'm feeling. Hey, Stacia, how you doing, my friend? So, Stacia, you may be the only one here tonight. No, there's Julie. It's just me and Stacia hanging out. How is everybody? How are we doing, guys? Hi. Okay, so I got a funny story before we get started. And you guys are probably, I know you'll laugh at me, but that's okay. You're laughing with me, not necessarily at me. So this has happened to me twice in my life, and it just happened the second time. And you would think by now I would have this figured out. But, okay, so just while others are trickling in, let me explain this ridiculousness that is my life. So I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, right? I'm like a hardcore skeptic. I just don't believe things like that very easily, which is funny because I'm a Halloween, I'm a fanatic, but I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, right? I'm open to whatever, but I just don't believe very easily. Anyway, I have on this shirt. So I go, like, I'm rushing around to get ready for this video, and I go into the bathroom to, like, check my hair and stuff, and I walk all the way into the bathroom and look in the mirror before I turn on the light, and I forgot that I have a shirt that has part of the shirt is glow in the dark. Scared myself silly, okay? I thought for sure. Everybody can barely hear me. Well, there's a good reason for that. I'm not plugged in. So I go into the bathroom. Is that better, you guys? Whoa. I go into the bathroom. I turn and face the mirror. I haven't turned on the light yet, and I see this glow in the dark part of my shirt, and my heart jumps up into my throat. I thought I had seen a ghost. It was totally my shirt. Yeah. That's my life. That is the silliness that is my life, you guys. So yeah, I don't believe in ghosts, but this glow in the dark shirt, that'll scare you. Scare the pants right off of you. So, sound check. How we doing? Still having a hard time hearing me? That's no good, you guys. Nope. Let's see. Try again. All right, hold on. Everybody hold on. Vicky says, speak up a bit, please. I'm totally trying. I'm trying. How we doing now? Is that better? Okay, Anita says yes, thank you. Okay, good. It's this microphone, and it's a Monday, and I scared myself, and so there you go. All right, guys, what's up? It is Monday Maker or Maker Monday, whichever way you choose to say it, and I have lots of weekly deals for you guys, and we have a very fun project. Donna says I wouldn't feed my pants. I'm so glad finally somebody said something, because I was like, wow, that went over like a lead balloon. Tina says I believe in ghosts. Well, after seeing my shirt in the mirror, it's so funny because you would think that my reaction, I would have, you would think that I believe in ghosts too, by the way I reacted. But anyway, Stacia says she can hear me. All right, so it is Monday, which means it is the beginning of a brand new week. And you guys, I'm so glad you're here. And I hope that you stick around for the entire week, because there is so much going on this week. So we're at the end of the month, which means we're at the beginning of a new month, which just happens to be my favorite month. And it just so happens to be the same time that maybe some Halloween type shenanigans may start. You'll just have to stick around and see, you guys. I've got promises, though, that you are going to love what is coming later on this week. So definitely stay tuned for all of the fun things that are coming, right? I'm not going to give it away. But there might just be more than beads. So there might be a button involved, maybe. I don't know. just have to stick around and find out. But we have lots of things going on right now before we even get there. And that means we've got weekly deals and we've got free shipping on $139 carts. And you don't need a code for that, which is really cool because that means that you can use a different code, right, for something else. And that could possibly be a free seed bead mix with your $29 cart. And the the coupon code for that is plant seeds. All one word, no spaces, okay? And the next one is a free button pack. I was making a hint about those buttons. Now you better be perking up and paying attention. I'm just kidding. All right, free button pack at dressitupshop.com with a $49 cart minimum, and the code for that one is Make It Magic, no spaces. So you got it, right? You got it. There could be a button on the way, maybe more buttons. There could be Halloween things on the way. It could be. Can't say for sure, right? But you definitely want to stick around to see what else happens this week. I'm telling you that. Telling you, you will love it. So what do we have tonight? Tonight we have a fun and easy project, and we're actually going to use some memory wire to create some earrings. We haven't done this in a really, really long time. In fact, I looked back to see when the last time it was that we used memory wire for anything. It's been a while, and we haven't made memory wire earrings in almost an entire year. So I thought, you know what? This is a good one to kind of break back out. And we are going to do a memory wire earrings project featuring some seed beads. So that free seed bead mix with your $29 cart, this is the perfect inspiration for if you are looking to get some seed beads. Seed beads are an incredible addition to all of your other beads because they make great spacer beads. They're a great accent. They stand alone absolutely beautifully, but they look so good with your favorite Jesse James beads mixes. So I'm going to be mixing mine with a Design Elements mix tonight. I'm using Some Like It Hot, which is a poppin' pink. We'll leave that G off. It's a poppin' pink color, and we're mixing in two different seed bead mixes. We're going to mix in Firecracker. We're going to be using this yellow from the Firecracker, and we're going to use some of the dark pink from Perfectly Pink. So Colleen says I have no idea what memory wire is. Oh, Colleen, let me walk you through the joys of memory wire. I love it, and so many people love it. It's so easy to use. So I will show you all about the memory wire, but I did want to touch on these little seed beads first because the ones that I have down on the mat are not in the packaging. So if you're interested in picking up the seed beads that I'm using tonight, this is what the mixes are going to look like, okay? But again, I'm only using the yellow and the dark pink from these, but that just means I have more seed beads to use for other things, right? And the color scheme here is pink and yellow, which are two colors that I feel like a lot of people have a hard time or have a lot of trouble using in their design work. And I'm really encouraging you to think outside the box with this and kind of step outside of your comfort zone. Pink is a color that I feel like you can wear all year, right? It doesn't necessarily fit in one season or another. So pink is it can be a fall color, it can be a winter color, it can be a spring color, right? It's one of those that works with everything. And when you mix it with another pop of brightness like yellow, then you're really forgetting about the seasons altogether, and you're just creating fun jewelry that makes you smile and makes you happy. When other people see it, they're like, I love that, that's great. So yellow and pink, right? That's a great combination, and maybe a scary one to some of you, but I'm going to show you that it looks really cool mixed together. And if pink and yellow are not your, if that's not necessarily your comfort zone, then maybe think about another one of the Design Elements mixes mixing with another mix of seed beads, right? You can sort of achieve the same results, but I really am a huge fan of this pink and yellow. So let's see. Oh, lots of people are saying they've never made memory wire earrings. Well, it could not be easier. So I'm excited to show this to you guys. You're going to enjoy this one because it's super, super easy to do. We're just going to do a little bit of stringing. We are going to do some simple loops, and that's pretty much it. We're going to put together a really cute pair of earrings that I think you guys are going to be able to translate into your own jewelry designs and turn this into all kinds of other things. It doesn't just have to be earrings, right? You can make pendants out of this. You can use this exact same technique that is very, very simple to create chokers with your memory wire. So lots and lots of things that you can do with the project. So since Colleen tonight has mentioned that she does not know memory wire very well. Let me introduce you to just one of the packs of memory wire that is available on the Jesse James Beads website. Obviously mine is open. So this memory wire is a Bead-A-Lon product. It is round, okay, but you can get memory wire in flat. I'm actually a huge fan of the flat. I haven't used it in a very long time, but I love it. It just has a flat surface that you can like wire wrap onto. It's great stuff. But we're using the round, and this is one of the configurations that you can get. It is an assortment pack, which means that you've got a couple of different varieties here. So first, obviously the large one here is going to be for creating bracelets. I mean, not bracelets, I'm sorry, necklaces. And you can create choker style necklaces. Mine are hooked together here. I can't seem to find the end. But you can create necklaces. If you put heavier beads on them, they're not necessarily chokers, right? But they are kind of created to wear up high. You're definitely not going to be able to create a long necklace with this, right? You also have two different sizes of the bracelet style. So you've got the large and the small, and I know the small looks really, really tiny. A lot of people look at this and they're like, oh my gosh, that does not fit my wrist or anyone else's. It's the same thing with the necklace memory wire. It expands once you start to put beads on it and gravity kind of takes over. It opens up. This is going to fit some smaller wrists. This one is going to fit more of the standard sized wrist. And last but not least, you have the ring memory wire as well. This is great for making not only rings, but making wine charms and other charm things where you just need hoops that are this big, right? So as far as memory wire itself is concerned, it is tempered steel, which means that it is going to go back into its shape. Think of like a slinky, right? Slinkies are made out of tempered steel, same thing. Slinkies are a little bit different in that they are stacked in a way that, you know, each piece sits on top of itself and it stands up, whereas memory wire doesn't necessarily do that, but it does retain its shape. So every time you go to wear it, you're always going to get the same wear out of it, right? And you just fill it up with beads and wrap it around. Easy peasy pumpkin squeezy. Like, this stuff is so cool. This is one of my favorite products that I like to recommend to beginners in jewelry making, just because it's so easy to work with, and there's a lot of versatility with this, because I'm going to show you today, we're going to make earrings out of this, which is not something that necessarily would jump out at you right at the first. I mean, obviously you think of bracelets, right? But maybe you don't think about earrings. Earrings is a great way to use this. Also using the cut pieces as, what is the word that I'm looking for? As other kind of elements in your design, because it's going to retain its shape no matter what. Now, that being said, Miss Colleen and anybody else that's out there that has never used memory wire before, I do have a caution for you. If you do not own a memory wire cutting shear, okay, that's the special cutter tool that you will use to cut memory wire, then get one, right? Absolutely get one. I know we carry them on the site. I don't know if they're in stock, but I can look for you real quick. But I want you to know that if you try to cut your memory wire with your Italian cutters or any of your other cutters, you are going to destroy the blade. I have cracked blades a million times by not following my own rules, right? I didn't make these rules up though. They really are the rules that that exist for memory wire. You need the special cutter tool for the memory wire is what I'm getting at, because you will crack the blades and they will never be good again, right? It's not worth it. So definitely get a memory wire cutter shear or a cutter tool that is specifically designed for really thick, heavy gauged wire, okay? Don't think that your regular cutter tool that you use on all of your regular wires, your artistic wires and your German style wires is gonna work. It's not. You will cut through it, but you will create a little nick in that cutting surface and you will regret the day that you ever did that. So just so you know, okay, you have been warned. Don't let me catch you cutting your memory wire with your regular cutters. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, guys, so let's get down to it. I feel like I've done a lot of talking, but I do feel like a lot of that was important information, except for when I scared myself earlier. That was just funny. Okay. Let's get to it and create something pretty, shall we? All right, so down on the mat, you guys can see I've got the ugly bead mat out tonight. That's because we are using some seed beads, so my apologies for the ugly color that washes everything out, but we do have to use it. All right, this is the Some Like It Hot Design Elements bead mix. So pretty. I know that there are some of you who don't use a lot of pink. Kathleen comes to mind. She does not like pink at all, but I gotta say, if you're creating jewelry for other people, there are people in your life that love pink. And this one is a really beautiful mix because you have the light pinks as well as like the hot pink pops in here that are just really cool. And the bubble balls are probably my favorite. I feel like it just looks like rock candy inside there. I just want to open it up and eat it. Don't do that. But it's really gorgeous. The flowers that are in here make the most beautiful rings ever. There are some beads missing from this, you guys, because I have used this mix a couple of times, so forgive me for that, but you are getting pretty much the gist of what is in here. I think these are probably, next to the bubble balls, this is probably my second favorite bead in here. It's just a really cool kind of pillow shaped bead that's got, it's white, but it's got a splash of pink and gold through it. Just a really cool, kind of funky, fun bead to use, right? So we're going to use some of the beads from this in our earring, and we're also using, like I said earlier, we're using some of the Tohos. We're going to use the that bright yellow from the Firecracker, and then we're going to use this bottom dark pink color from Perfectly Pink. So I just have some of these out. I'm just going to go ahead and dump these. I do, you know what? And so Motorcrafts was talking about one time I showed the notches out of my cutter tools, and it's really funny that you mentioned that because I literally just now, about, I don't know, an hour ago, tossed those cutters into the trash, and I can actually reach those right now. I'll show them to you. If you don't believe me, let me show you what memory wire does to your cutter tools, okay? So this is my grimy, nasty, old cutter tool that I just could not seem to get rid of because I just can't. But I finally did throw it away. I want you to look. Do you see the notches that are out? There's one here, there's one right up here at the tip that is huge. Do you see that? After you use memory wire on these and you create that kind of mark, they never cut flush again, and it takes 2 times to squeeze this to get these to cut anything else. So just take my word for it. Like, this is my prized pair of cutters, and I completely destroyed them. So don't do it. Don't do it. Back in the trash they go. Okay. Now, something else I feel like we need to talk about with the memory wire before we get started with the earring is that for those of you who have never used memory wire before, you may not know what to do with the ends, right? Okay, I'm talking about putting beads all on here and creating a bracelet, but what do you do with the ends? Well, I'm glad you asked. There's a couple of different things you can do. You can use the memory wire finishing pliers, which are just baby versions of the small bell making pliers. Look at them. They're teeny beany, right? You've got a 2mm, it'll make a 2mm loop, or it'll make a 4mm loop. You don't have to use these though. By the way, you can use your round nose pliers. But the most common thing that people do to keep their beads on their memory wire is to just turn a loop. So you just grab the end, and you can roll it into a loop. Make sure that your loop is closed, and that's going to hold all of your beads on, right? So you don't need any hardware for memory wire, which makes it super cool when you're making bracelets and necklaces. We are going to use some hardware because we're putting it together as an earring, so we are going to use some jump rings with ours. And as far as turning the loop is concerned, you can turn the loop out or you can turn the loop in. It really makes no difference. I like to use my loop in bracelets and necklaces as a place to hang other things. You guys know I love dangles. I love to add bead dangles to things, lots of movement. So to me, that is a loop that is just an open invitation to add more fun to, right? All right, so as far as our earrings are concerned, we're going to use the small bracelet memory wire that is in that assortment pack. You can use whatever size you want to. I think it would look pretty funny if you decided to use the necklace memory wire to make earrings, but hey, you do you, okay? And we are going, let me just show you how I cut this, just so that you know. So to get just a single ring of this, I normally hold mine out, right, where I can see the end, and then I just cut the next one over right next to that end. That's going to give me a full loop, right? So that's how you get just a single ring of the memory wire, and that's exactly what we need. All right, so we are going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and turn one loop on one end just so that you can see. I'm going to use the small mandrel, or the small mandrel of the finishing pliers here. The bottom of the sky just opened up and it just started pouring rain. That's so funny. I had no idea it was going to rain. So I'm going to hold on and I'm going to turn a loop just on one end. Don't want to do both because then you can't get your beads on there, but it is a good idea to go ahead and turn one of the loops so that your beads don't fall off when you do start to thread those on, okay? So now I'm going to consider this ready to go. I'm just going to sit it to the side, okay? And we're going to work on some of the other parts of our earring because we are going to have some little moving things going on here. So I've got some head pins and some eye pins. Just keeping it really, really simple tonight. We're not going to be doing any wrapped loops or anything like that. We're just going to do simple loops tonight. So I want to create kind of a tier of dangles for our earring, and I obviously want that center tier to be a little bit longer. So we're going to start and we're going to build it out, and I want to use one of these gorgeous teardrops from our mix. There's actually a few of these in here. I think there's 4 total. Whoops, you only need 1 though for your design. I'm going to thread that on. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. I didn't realize. Oh, well, see what happens when we design on the fly. I'm going to need a bigger eye pin, or a head pin rather, for this one. Hold on. Sometimes my tiny little head pins are not quite the right size, but that's okay because I have 2 to choose from. Okay, this one's got a little bit bigger head on there, so that'll work just fine. Okay, now I want to add seed beads to this, and keep in mind this is the center, okay? And I'll show you how we're gonna build this out. So here in the beginning, we're just gonna do a series of threading on. So that's gonna be our little center point. It's gonna be a little bit longer than everything else. And I'm gonna pick up another head pin. I'm gonna pick up 3 of the yellow seed beads. Okay, and let those drop, and I'm going to do 3 of the pink seed beads, and I want 3 of these on either side. Okay, so I'm just kind of building out this part first, and then we'll go up a notch here in just a second. So we'll go up a level. Okay, so just going to make a few more of these. Three yellow and 3 pink. Okay, so there's that side. I'm going to do the other side now. And we are going to do another little layer of seed beads, and that layer will be where the tiered part of this is going to come in. I'm actually going to kind of shorten up the amount of beads on each one of these. So just get this section here ready to go. I think this dark pink and this yellow look so pretty together. And again, not 2 colors that I am a huge fan of, but sometimes the right combination with yellow just really kind of gets me excited about a design. All right, so that's going to be our first little tier of beads. So we're going to go ahead and do just simple loops on all of these and get those ready to go. So I'm going to come in with my chain nose pliers, and I'm just going to bend the wire. We're not bending it over the top of the pliers or anything like that because we're not doing a wrapped loop, we're just doing a simple loop. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool, and I'm going to leave myself about 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to grab the end of the wire with my round nose pliers, and I'm just going to roll that wire back. Now, when you mix simple loops and seed beads, you guys, you gotta be sure more than any other time that your simple loop is completely closed, because if you don't, those little seed beads, they like to sneak past the loop into the loop itself, and it is so frustrating. So make sure that you close your loop all the way, right? And I know that seems like, oh yeah, I do that, but trust me, when you fight with a seed bead, getting into one of those little loops, you'll know. So I'm just going to repeat that on all of these, okay? We're just going to make little simple loops on the tops. We're not doing wrapped loops. I guess if you wanted to do wrapped loops, you absolutely could. There's no reason why you can't. Just kind of keeping it easy this evening. We don't do a lot of simple loops, so it's good to change it up. Okay, same thing with our middle one here. It is on a little bit sturdier of an eye pin though, or head pin rather, sorry. Roll that back. Okay. Oh, there's talk of sweatshirts and shirts and patches. I'm so excited. Those of you who were part of summer camp, I cannot wait to get our goodies from that. It's going to be really cool. You guys will have to start posting pictures of yourself in your Jesse James Beads gear. And I got a feeling we're going to have some gear with our Destination North Pole as well. So looking forward to that too. So speaking of the Destination North Pole, and Sarah's here, so she can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you only have until the last day of this month to sign up for the payment plan option for the Destination North Pole. So if you are wanting to get in on that and you want to do the payment option, you're going to need to do that before the end of this month. So you've only got a couple of days left. However, if you don't want to do the payment plan, you can still get a seat, right? You can still be a part of Destination North Pole. So there's still plenty of room. All right, so now I'm going to use some eye pins, and we're going to just kind of create a little tiered look to go with these. We're going to hang these from the bottom because I like to have all the extra movement. And the one in the center is going to have the most beads. So I'm going to do 4 pink seed beads, and then I'm going to do 4 yellow seed beads, and then we're just going to reduce that by 1 as we go out on either side. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and thread all of them. So for the next one, I'm gonna have 3 pink seed beads and 3 yellow seed beads. Okay, so that one, when they get all hung together, they're gonna hang just slightly off, right, to give that cool tiered effect. Okay, so the next one is going to be 2, so 2 pink, 2 yellow, and the one on the outer edge is going to be 1 pink, whoops, and 1 yellow. All right, so that'll be on that side. Now we're just going to repeat that over on the other side. So we're doing 3 pink, okay, oh, and 3 yellow. I almost put that down without putting the yellow on there. Okay, now we're going to do 2 pink, 2 yellow, 1 pink, whoops, and 1 yellow. Okay, so again, I'm going to do just simple loops on these, and then I'm going to attach these together. So let's go through, do the simple loops first. Okay, so same thing, I'm just bending the wire. You guys, I use my pliers to help bend the wire. If it's easier for you to just do it with your fingers, you know, just bend that wire over, then please do that. There is no right or wrong when it comes to creating that bend in the wire, okay? I do find that when I'm using smaller beads, it is a little bit harder to get that bend without using the pliers. That's why I like to use the pliers to kind of do the hard work for me. But if I'm using a larger bead, a lot of times I can just bend that wire over with my fingers and it's no big deal. Whoops, sorry. Okay, so each one of these will have a loop on the top and the bottom, whereas the other ones only had that loop on the top. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys something special. I don't know if it's a secret or not. Probably should have asked Sarah about something new that we're going to be starting this week. On top of all of the cool things that are coming this week, we have other new things going on. Maybe if she'll give me the thumbs up, I can tell you. It's an extra treat. I don't think it's a secret, but it would be my luck that I would tell you, and she would be like, no, it was going to be a surprise. All right, so we're pretty close to having all of these together. Just running through these really, really quickly. I feel like watching wrapped loops is way more interesting than watching simple loops. Let's hear it so I can tell them, yay! All right, guys, guess what? Guess what? So exciting. So you guys get to see me on Maker Mondays right here at 7 p.m. where we are right now. As I'm telling you, I'm gonna open I'm gonna open these, okay, laterally, just like we would a jump ring, okay? And then hook that upper dangle portion on there and then close it back. Make sure you close it so those little seed beads don't sneak in there, because they will, okay? Okay, so as I'm doing that, making my way down the line here, so we have Facebook Lives on Mondays at 7 p.m. That's how you got here this evening. And we also have Facebook Lives on Thursdays at 11 a.m. So we have decided that that's just not enough. There's just not enough. So we need more Facebook Lives, right? So we've added a third Facebook Live starting this Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on Jessie James Beads. You guys can catch me on Wednesdays with another project. So now you will be able to see me 3 times on Jessie James Beads Facebook Lives. And you can still catch me on Sarah Ellis Designs on Fridays at 1 p.m. So you can potentially see me 4 times in 1 week if you want. No pressure. No pressure. You don't have to. But we definitely want to invite you to come and, you know, spend your week with us, right? Let's do some designing. So Wednesdays, what our plan is that Wednesdays will be design on the fly, because you guys like it when we do design on the fly, with the exception of this week. So normally this week is a little bit different because we're just kind of just now implementing all of this, making some changes, right? But this week we're doing shop small, but starting next week, our Wednesday shows will be design on the fly, which is really cool. You guys like design on the fly. It'll be design on the fly, and we'll be featuring whatever the weekly deals are, right? So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. You guys know I love to spend my week with you guys. So I think we're gonna we're going to have a great time together. And we really, you know, we need all the inspiration we can get this time of year, working on designs for gift giving and for holidays and all of that. And so, yeah, more is fun. Colleen says 4 times is still not enough. Well, Colleen, I'm like 5 minutes from your house. Just come over. You can see me whenever you want to. Okay, so now we are ready to string all of this on, okay? I am going to add some extra little decorative elements to this. I do want to pull out these shell beads. Look at these. I love these so much, and I wanted to be sure that they got included in our design, so I'm going to add those, and then we are going to do kind of a decorative element hanging in the center because I got to have stuff hanging in the center, but we want to build our earrings. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to thread on some seed beads. I'm going to thread on 5 yellow seed beads, okay? And this is where you're going to see it's really going to come in handy that I have that loop on one end. There's nothing more frustrating than threading things onto your memory wire and it just falling right off the other end. Even if you think you've got it under control and you're holding on to it and those beads just sneak off. It happens, right? It happens. Oh, Wendy says, I wish I lived closer. I wish you did too, Wendy. We would have so much fun. We would have a lot of fun. I got a lot of good beady friends here in town, and there's room for more. So if anybody feels like making a move, I say everybody move here, and then we'll all move to Pennsylvania. Actually, Colleen's already been in Pennsylvania, so she might not want to do that part, but I want to be close to the warehouse where all of the real fun happens, right? Where I can go and like dip my feet in buckets of beads. That's is that a weird thing to say? Okay, so I've added 5 yellow seed beads, one of these gorgeous pink pearl, mother of pearl dyed beads, and then 5 more seed beads. Okay, now I'm going to add 3 of these pink seed beads. Probably was a really weird thing for me to say, that I want to put my feet in buckets of beads, but I mean, I love beads. All right, so there's that. Now I'm going to start threading on these little dangles, okay? And I'm just going to thread them on directly with their loops. I'm not going to add jump rings or anything like that. I'm just going to thread those directly on, and I'm going to separate them out with pink seed beads. So I'm going to do 3 more pink seed beads. And you'll see this kind of start to come together once we get the rest of these little dangles on here. You'll kind of get an idea of what this is going to look like when it's finished. Okay. Now, one thing that does happen, and I didn't mean for it to, but sometimes if your simple loops are a little bit bigger than your seed beads, they kind of jump around on your seed beads. If you can try to keep your simple loops small, that won't happen. But I don't mind if they travel a little bit. It's okay. I can always kind of put them back where they go, right? Okay. All right, we need 3 more pink. So everybody could move here and we could bead all the time. And then when Sarah makes her way to PA to check in and, you know, do warehouse things, we could all get a caravan together and go bug her. We'll just drive to PA from here and go bug her. I think it would be fabulous. Little beady retreat. Really though, you guys, I can't wait until we can be in person again. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I miss my friend Sarah. I miss Joan and Jane and Colleen. I miss everybody. So I'm ready for us to be able to be in person again. All right, so now that my seed bead little dangle things are kind of jumping around, I'm having a hard time keeping up with how many beads I've got here. So hold on, I just want to be sure that even if they're not sitting where they're supposed to be sitting, that I still have the right amount of the pink. Okay, so there's 3. There's 3. Scoot on down. Okay, come on, to coax it into place. And there's 3. Okay. Whoops. 2, 3. Do 3 more. I feel like at the end of this, I probably need to go back in and close those loops up a little bit, just so that they won't hop around. But you get the general idea. Like, it's just because my simple loops are a little bit bigger than the seed beads. So they're all kind of sneaking around wherever they want to and kind of misbehaving. But I mean, that's the story of my life. So, all right. Beads misbehaving. I need a shirt that says that. All right, so there's our last little grouping of pink seed beads, okay? And again, doesn't look like much at the moment, but it will. Okay, now I'm going to do 5 more yellow. We're going to do 1 more of these pink pearl beads because they're so darn cool. And then 5 more yellow. And then we're just going to turn a loop with our finishing pliers or your round nose pliers if that's what you've got, right? They work, but if you want your loops to always be consistent, I definitely recommend that you mark them with a permanent marker so that you will have the same size loops on either side. That's really what makes the finishing pliers and your bell making pliers so good for memory wire. Your loops are always consistent because they're not tapered. So, but you can achieve this with your round nose pliers. It's okay. All right, so just grabbing the end, and I'm going to create our loop here. And again, just want to make sure that it's closed. Okay, now these guys just do not want to behave. I definitely need to go back in and tighten up the loops, but that's what it's going to look like. I've got one that's already made here, so I'll show you. This one, the loops, it was behaving the way it was supposed to. So it kind of has like a dream catcher kind of look to it. So last thing we're going to do is we're going to add this beautiful little star charm and this gorgeous pink rondelle, and we're going to attach those with some jump rings and then just attach our ear wire to it. So I'm going to grab an eye pin, and let's see, did I attach that directly to? I did do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up the eye on the eye pin and thread on our charm here and go ahead and close that back. So that part's already done. Okay, now I'm going to thread on this beautiful, look at the pink in that. I mean, that's just a stunning color. And now I'm just going to do another simple loop. Okay, so just holding on to that, I'm going to use my pliers to bend that wire. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool, give myself about 1/4 of an inch, just like we did with all the other ones. And then we are going to roll back with our round nose pliers, and we've got just a simple loop on the top. So this is ready to attach. Okay, that's going to hang right here in the center. And we've got an ear wire, and I'm using 4 4mm jump rings and a 6mm jump ring. Now at this point you can kind of do this little configuration however it makes you happy. It's really, you just want to kind of fill in the space between the loops that you created with your memory wire. And if you want it to be open a little bit more, you can do 6mm jump rings instead of 4mm jump rings. Right? That is going to open it up just a little bit, but it really doesn't make that big of a difference. The only thing that I would caution would be that it does kind of create a little bit more distance between the bottom of your charm and the bottom of your ring here. If you use 6mm jump rings, it kind of opens it up, so this doesn't hang directly in the center. I'm just kind of picky about things like that, so you play around with it, and you know, you can attach it however you want to. This is just kind of the way that I did it. So I'm going to take 2 pairs of pliers, open up a 4mm jump ring, and I'm going to thread that on to one of the loops here. And then before I close that, I'm going to go ahead and thread on another 4mm jump ring and close that. So if you didn't want to use jump rings for this, you can actually use a small little piece of chain as well. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You can play around with this and do a lot of different ways. Do the connection a lot of different ways. Okay, attach that, close that back. Now I'm going to use my 6mm jump ring right in the center, and the 6mm jump ring is going to connect the 2 sides together. It's also going to hold my little charm section here in the center. So just want to attach that there and there. Okay, you can go ahead and thread on your ear wire if you want to before you close this jump ring, but it has a tendency to pop out before I get it closed, so I'm not going to take my chances. Go ahead and close that and just open the ear wire and attach the ear wire to it. And that's it, you guys. This one needs a little bit of work. I need to come in and close up the loops so that they all hang where they're supposed to. But this one looks the way that I wanted it to. So this will be the one that I try on so that you can see it. But I gotta tell you, I'm feeling it. It's a lot of fun. I love that pink and yellow combination. That is something that I would normally never use, right? I'm just not a pink and yellow kind of person. But I feel like it makes a really fun earring. And the memory wire makes a perfect ring every single time, so you don't have to worry about shaping your wire and work hardening it. That's the great thing with the memory wire, is it doesn't need to be work hardened at all. It's going to retain that shape no matter what you do to it. So that's really, really cool as well. And I do want to mention, let me lay this one down just so that you can kind of look for just a second, right? You can always create a pendant out of this. That's always the way it is with earrings, and I always want to be mindful of letting you know that. You can always do this as a pendant if you don't like it as an earring. I feel like it is a little bit large maybe for some people. I love large earrings, but some people don't. So this would be a really cool pendant. Maybe hang this from some gorgeous fairy silk. That would be amazing. Hang it from a piece of chain if you wanted to, or just create a bead, you know, one single strand of beads with your seed beads and hang it from that. Would look absolutely beautiful. Also, you can change up the beads, right? You could have added a tassel in the center. That would have looked really cool as well. You can build out with other beads. You don't just have to use the seed beads. That's the cool thing about the mixes, is that you can really kind of mix and match and turn this into whatever you want to. I originally started out with one of the bubble beads in the middle and thought that it was amazing, but it was hanging a little too low. That's why I changed it up. But if I didn't want 2 beads in the center and just have the bubble ball in the middle, it would have looked really cool, right? I just wanted to use more beads. So you got a lot to work with here when it comes to the seed beads. It looks like we barely even took a dent out of the yellow, and we used a bunch of them. And your design elements mixes are always jam-packed full, so you've got tons of bead choices with those as well. A boho would have looked really awesome in the center of that too. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly what I've done here. You can definitely use this in a lot of different ways. And for those of you who are curious about just a couple of other things that you can do with memory wire, let me cut this piece really quick just to kind of show you. So I mentioned that you can use this in other ways in your jewelry. And so just to, for instance, let's cut this into like a half moon shape. Let's say you don't want to use it as a ring. You don't want to use it as anything else. But now you've got this perfect arch shape that you can turn some loops on the end. And you can turn your loops any direction that you want to, right? I'm turning mine to the back, let's just say that I put a whole bunch of beads on here, or I did this whole little fringe thing on this bottom section and then threaded beads between here, right? Beads here and beads out so that it is part of a little pendant. You could actually even build this all the way down with a bunch of these little arches attached to each other, right? So memory wire is cool stuff. If you've never played with memory wire before, I highly recommend playing with it because there's so many different things that you can do with it. Let me just do one more thing and then I'll let you guys go. Just as a for instance, I mean, we're just playing here just for a second because we do have people who have never used memory wire before. So this is just a smaller piece, right? Thread your beads on here, make it all pretty, and then don't quite close that just yet. Do that on both sides, right? And hook it to this one and then close it up, right? And now you've got a tier of beads. You've got all of your gorgeous Jesse James beads here, and then your bottom layer here has got, I don't know, your Toho seed beads on it, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with memory wire other than just making bracelets and hoop earrings, you guys. So I highly recommend grabbing some if you've not ever played with it before. I love it. It's cool. There's a lot of cool things you can do with it. So hopefully I've inspired you. I'm gonna turn you guys around. All right, put on. You guys, yeah, it's Monday. I'm telling you, it's been Monday all day. How dare it be Monday all day? So I try on the earrings so that you guys can see it. Super cute. That's the small memory wire, and it's the perfect size for hoop earrings in my opinion. If you like a little bit smaller, you obviously can use the ring size to make it a little bit smaller, but don't be fooled, right? Don't be fooled, because even though it's the right size for a hoop earring, it is also the right size for a bracelet. I know you don't believe it when you look at it, because that doesn't look like it's going to fit anybody's wrist, but it really does expand and open up when you start putting beads on it. All right, let's see here. Tina's got a question. Tina asked a good question. What is it? Let me scroll back. Thank you for thanks for grabbing my attention. Let's see. Ask your question again. Tina, what was your question? I'm so sorry that I missed it. I'm scrolling back, guys. Going back. I don't see it. Oh no, Tina, what was your question? Ask me again. I'm gonna scroll back down to the bottom so that you can ask me again. Ramona says, always inspirational. I will repeat in just a second. Thank you, Ramona. I appreciate that so much. Love the earrings. I hope you guys are inspired, right? Even if you don't want to make any earrings, I hope you are at least inspired to, number one, add those seed beads into your cart, because that is a great deal. And number two, to play with some memory wire. If you've never played with the memory wire before, it's a lot of fun and you can do so many different things with it. If you ever need memory wire inspiration, just hit me up. I have lots of ideas for the memory wire. All right, so while I'm waiting for that question to get posted again, I will go right back over, sorry, I was looking for my notes, for what the weekly deals are this week. For those of you who do not know, the weekly deals change every Monday, so keep up. Also, if you're interested in keeping up and you forget, I forget a lot of things, got a lot of things to think about, then sign up for the newsletter, because that's a great way to keep you in the know all the time. Go over to the Jesse James Beads website, sign up for the newsletter. It just takes a second. Enter in your email, and then you will always know what the weekly deals are, and you will also get tons of inspiration coming straight to your inbox during the week, and you will be the first to know about sales and specials that are going on. So I definitely recommend signing up for the newsletter if you have not. That's a great way to stay in the know. And let's talk about what is in the know. So free shipping on $139 minimum carts, and you don't need a code for that, which is phenomenal because sometimes I forget to add the code. But if you do want to add a code, you can get a free seed bead mix, such as the ones that we used tonight. And that is with a $29 cart, and the code for that is plant seeds, no spaces. And then last but not least is a free button pack at dresitupshop.com, and that is a $49 cart minimum, and the code for that is Make It Magic. You're going to want all of those codes, both of those codes in the free shipping, you're going to want those this week. Trust me. We always work it out, or the team rather always works it out, that the codes always kind of correspond with things that are going on, right? I mean, they are usually relevant with all of the good things that are coming to the website. So just stay tuned, you guys. Just stay tuned. Our week is just getting started, right? It's Monday, only Monday. I'm just going to scroll back just for a second. Tina wanted to know if you can take a larger bracelet and bend it into that size. I don't think so. And I would love to say, yes, you absolutely can. You can put it on a mandrel and you can hammer it, and you probably could. But remember that it is tempered steel, meaning that it's already been hardened into the shape that it is. So turning it into a different shape or squeezing it down and making it more compact, I'm not going to say that it's not possible. I'm just going to say that it is probably worth more trouble than you're willing to put into it. Can it be done? Yeah, it probably can. Would I do it? I probably wouldn't. But you're welcome. You're welcome to try. I don't know that you'll have the best luck at it. So I hope I answered that the right way. I mean, I feel like, that's just my opinion. You certainly can try it. That's all I can say about that. So, all right. So if you missed the announcement, I will tell it again and then I'll let you go, because I've got 4 minutes until the Chiefs start playing. So I got to get out of here. But you guys can always catch me here on Maker Mondays at 7 p.m. This is a great time slot. We really enjoy doing it. I enjoy getting to spend my evening with you guys on Mondays. It's a great way to finish off my day and a great way to gear up for the rest of the week. So that's not changing at all. What is changing is Wednesdays. If you would like to see even more designs and more beads and more fun, then join us on Wednesdays here on Jesse James Beads at 1 p.m. We have a brand new Facebook Live that we are going to be adding to our schedule. So from now on, you're going to be able to catch us on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, and again on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Those are all Eastern times, so make your adjustments and set your notifications. And then if you want to see me even more, you can catch me on Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sarah Ellis Designs. So if you're not sick of me by Friday, you can catch me again. Otherwise, we've got 3 fantastic projects planned for you guys from now until whenever the schedule changes again. But I've got a feeling this is going to be one that sticks around for a while, because we just can't get enough of you guys, right? So I hope to see you guys on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Set your reminders so you don't forget. And of course, if you are subscribed to that email, you will never forget, because you will get a notification in the email to a gentle reminder of what's coming up for the week, you guys. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the night. I will see you guys again on Wednesday. Whole day early. I'm excited. I'll see you guys then, and you guys have a great night. Bye, guys.